Good day and welcome to our first video on this page. So let's begin with our topic today, which is Boer concentration camps in South Africa from 1900 to 1902. So let me give you a context to why did we end up with the Boer concentration camps in South Africa, who came with an idea to put humans in these small tents out there in the world. So this is a dark history of South Africa, painful history, and just bear with me as we're going to go into details, but not into too details, because some people may be upset and it is a sensitive topic. So let's start. So in South Africa, during this time, in the late 1800s, there was a lot of discoveries that were happening. There was gold discovery, industrial revolutions were picking up. Boer people were focusing mainly on farming. However, we have two groups of white people in South Africa at the time, which is the Afrikaners and the Afrikaners, which are the Boers, and the British. And these two groups are fighting over these discoveries, and they all want to partake in making their fortunes. So British come with an idea of, let's unify South Africa. Let's take every group that is in South Africa, black, white, Indian, whatever, and then put it under British flag, which this led to a war, the Second War, which outbreak, the Anglo-Boer War. So now the British people are sitting down and they are talking. How can we solve this issue that we're facing now? We have this ongoing war, which is costly and is costing taxpayers, British taxpayers, millions a month. We cannot afford keep fighting. How can we force the poor people to give up and conform under us? So he came up with an idea, which is the Scorched Earth policy. In this policy, the Lord Kitchener say, we are going to take away what is giving them pride and not allowing us to take them under us. I'm trying to explain it as simple as I can. So as time goes, so we're going to kill everything, their cattle, their sheep, their horses. We're going to forcefully take their women and children so that we can force the soldiers' hand to give up fighting. And unfortunately, this plan was initiated in the 1900s. So it started the group of British soldiers attack the Boer farm and took children, took women by force, killed the cattle, killed the sheep, the horses, and took away the white people's slaves or workers. And when they took them, they burned their farmhouses so that they won't have anywhere to return to or anywhere to run to after they're taking them. And that is what happened. They took them by force, they put them in camps. So the camps were all over South Africa, not in just one specific place. And then it was painful. And you can go Google, because I cannot go in more details about it as it's sensitive. So what happened now is, in these camps, the British people didn't care. They only care about taking over the discoveries and making fortune themselves. So in these camps were not enough to keep the Afrikaners in or to accommodate them. And mind you, they took everything that belonged to the Boers. So they do not have money, they do not have medical supplies with them, they do not have food, they don't have anything with them. So the British government had to provide food, medicine, clothing, everything for the Boers. And it seemed like they couldn't afford it because the conditions in these camps were horrible. There was overcrowding, the food was rationed, and which is most sadly is that if your husband is in the war and you and your child are in these camps, they won't give you food, they won't give your child food, forcing your husband to stop fighting. And that led to death as well, because you're gonna die of hunger. And it's sad. So moving on, there was shortage of medical supplies and medical staff. We know that a lot of people in one place and are crowded, it's bound to have diseases. If one person have a cough, everyone will have a cough. So in these camps, there was a widespread of diseases like whooping cough, measles, fever, diarrhea, which were serious, and most affected individuals in this case were kids. And there was no medical supplies, no medical staff like nurses, which eventually led to the death of 26,000 children and adults. And then during this time, as all this havoc is happening, there was a British humanitarian which visited South Africa at a time, and he looked at all that was happening. And this humanitarian went back to Britain and told the committee there of what she saw. And this was a shock to these people. And she did publish a page to report the distress that they found in South Africa. Yeah, and then let's move on. So, in this history as it's happening, in almost like keeping records and stuff, there was an attempt to erase black people that were there in the concentration camps. So black people came here by chance. The aim was not them, but they were taken as they were taking the owners of them. They were working under the Boer people as farming, slave or workers at the time. So when they were there, the British people were just making sure that no one is having the Boer people. So they took the black people as well with them and put them there. And records were tried to be erased. They were not properly recorded. That's why we do not know up until this day the exact number of the black people that were there. But the record shows that there was more than 100,000 black people in these camps. And then in this camp, within 3 months, 14,000 people were killed, black people. Keep that in mind. And this number as well is uncertain. Other people believe it's more than 20,000 people that were killed. So they didn't die of the natural diseases, were killed, some of them. So yeah, this is a painful history that we get to see in South Africa. The history of greed. What happened when someone have greed, want to take more, not sharing with other people? It happened that a lot of people suffer for that. So yeah, what do you think about this history, and how does it make you feel? Did you know about this history, about the concentration camps in South Africa?